Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to Cloud Test Lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Hi everyone, this is Neha. Hi Pratik. Hi Sukada. Folks, before we start the class, you could ask me if you have any doubts. Any of you have any doubts before we start the class? Folks, everyone able to hear me and able to see my screen? Okay, thanks, Yogesh. Anyone have any doubts? Yeah, Pratik, tell me.
Regarding the assignment, once we reach to code about then
Could you please be a little bit loud, Pratik? I can barely hear you.
no, what I'm saying, after the code Java is finished, will you be giving us the assignment to code Java?
The materials you're asking for advanced Java?
No. I'm talking about the assignment which you will be giving for the code Java. Is there any assignment which you'll be giving after the code Java is complete?
Everyone, did you finish the assignment that I gave, Pratik, and of course everyone? Folks, say yes or no. It is Pratik. Did you finish it?
Yeah.
I know if I ask in generic.
No. Okay, I think I missed that class, so I was not aware of class.
Folks, let me know when you finish the assignment. I'm going to give you new assignments. Anyway, Pratik, I was just saying, I'll email everyone some assignments that you people could practice in Java.
Thanks, man.
So, you can try the assignment. Okay, maybe, you can try tomorrow, maybe let's say on Friday or on next week, Monday. I'll explain the assignment to everyone in the class. The assignment that I gave, I'll explain to everyone. Folks, today we'll be discussing about the IO streams. Folks, if you don't have any doubts, please mute your microphones and unmute them when you have any questions. I mean, just to avoid background noise. Folks, what are IO streams? What are input-output streams? An input-output stream represents an input source or an output destination. So when we say a stream, right, in any case, we transfer the data from the source to the destination, right? A stream, can represent between like many kind of sources and destinations. Like they can be the files, they can be sorry folks. Ravi, are you able to hear me? Folks, anyone is facing any issues? Ravi, I think there is some problem with your headset or, the connection to your speakers. So you can even join through phone as well. Just try to reconnect your headset. And, you can go to the speakers, mixer and check, yours is not muted. This is,
Yeah, Neha, your voice is low, and what I observed is when I hear that recorded session, sometimes it is skipping off. So
okay. You people are able to hear me in the class, right, properly? Or do you have any issues in the class also?
Yeah, I'm able to hear.
no. Yeah, sometimes it gets skipped, but most of the times it's good.
Okay. Sometimes it happens when I'm writing the program or code, it automatically, the pitch gets reduced, but I'll try to manage work. An input-output stream represents an input source or an output destination in a real time when we want to transfer some kind of the data from one source to another destination. This can be, we want to write to a disk or any kind of devices. We want to, have this as an input to the other program, or we want to write it to somebody. There can be many scenarios, many kind of sources and destinations. So irrespective of what is happening internally, all streams present the same kind of a model. A stream is nothing but it is a sequence of data. The program uses an input stream to read the data from a source. When we have some code, code is nothing but a program. It uses the input stream to read the data. To get the input or to read the data, it uses input stream. And when it has to write data to a destination, it uses output stream. It tries or reads one item at a time. So we have different kind of streams that are present in Java. The first one is the byte stream. So what is a byte? A byte is nothing but 8 bits, right? We have the byte stream classes that are used to read 1 byte at a time or to write 1 byte at a time. The input stream and output stream are the base classes for any byte stream classes. these both are abstract classes. The input stream and output stream are the base classes for all byte stream classes. And we have the file input stream and file output stream classes, which extends input stream and output stream respectively. So we use file input stream to read the data. As we discussed, input stream is used to read the data, and output streams are used to write the data. So here I have a file input stream reference and I have a file output stream. So I have a file, H2K file in.txt. That's my input. I want to read from the file. So folks, we can read one item at a time. So at a time, we can read a byte. So we are creating a file input stream object using the new operator. It has a constructor which takes a string, which is the file name. So we have created the file input stream object, and from the file input stream object, we have the read method to read a single byte at a time. And when it reaches the end of the file will be -1. And after reading each byte, right? After reading each byte, what are we doing? We created a file output stream object, which is nothing but a text file. And after reading each byte from the file, after reading it through the input stream, we are writing it to the output stream. So what is our output stream here? It is H2K file output.txt, out.txt. Folks, in this class, we're going to discuss not just the file IO or not just the IO stream. We are going to recollect the previous topics like exceptions, the finally block that we discussed in the previous classes. So folks, what are we doing in the finally block? Folks, anyone, what is the purpose of a finally block, or what is the functionality of a finally block? Anyone, folks?
Previously we discussed to close the database connections or files.
Yeah, I mean, when the try in the try catch loop, whenever it's executed, the finally block is the part is executed always.
Yes, the finally block gets executed all the time, no matter if an exception is thrown or not, if an exception is caught or not. We use the finally block to clean up resources, any resource, database, file, the input stream that we open, or the output stream. We want to clean up all the resources, the specific code we keep in the finally block. So we have opened an input stream, we have created an input stream and output stream. We want to close it at the end, and we have to close it at the end. So that specific code, I'm going to keep it in the finally block.
So we are not catching an exception, right?
We are not catching it. We are declaring exception here.
Okay.
We are declaring exception here. So folks, when we try to read, right? Okay, let's see the program. We have, let's say the program is copy bytes, right? So folks, let's say I don't have this catch, and I don't have the throws declaration also. Folks, follow very carefully. Here, I'm getting an error saying unhandled exception, file not found exception. So folks, is file not found exception a checked exception or a runtime exception?
Checked exception.
It is a checked exception because the compiler is forcing us to handle it or declare it, right? So we can handle it, by having the catch block, or we can specify the throws declaration also. Right? And then when I'm reading it, there is an unhandled exception, IO exception, right? IO exception is also a checked exception.
What is the IO exception?
I'm sorry. What is?
What is this IO exception? Like what exactly that means?
I mean, when we are dealing with the input-output streams, when we are reading, we get an IO exception. When it's not available, the stream is not available, we get the IO exception, and it is a checked exception.
Neha, I have a 2 question here. Can you throw more than one exception? And instead of a file input stream, is there a file stream also?
Okay. Your first question is, can we throw more exceptions? You're saying, can I throw here one more exception, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can throw a series of exceptions, comma separately. I can say here, I can throw more than one exception.
So then any exception occurs according to that, then it will select the exception?
Actually, I'm not declaring it. So ideally, I should be handling it somewhere, but I'm not doing it right here. See, when you have an exception, you can handle it or declare it. But when you declare it, there should be some place where you handle the exception. Okay?
So the calling method, whoever calls this method, it is going to handle, right? Now,
yes.
Question is that, like, there is IO exception and there is some kind of other exception. So then it is going to call respectively those exceptions?
Yes, respective cache blocks. If you have multiple cache blocks, the respective cache block gets executed.
Okay.
Can you, Neha, can you explain that part of the while and what you have written in the while clause and the if part? It's like a not equal to -1, you write it out and...
Yeah, but the end of the file character is -1. We don't explicitly see it, it is -1. So when it reaches it, we want to come out of the loop. We want to write each byte to the output stream till it reaches the end of the file. So
okay.
If it is not equal, if it is -1, it is end of the file, right? So we want to come out of the loop. We want to continue writing it till we reach the end of the file. Read method reads the input stream 1 byte at a time.
Okay, that goes as 0, 1 like that, and
I mean, it's the content whatever we keep it. Let's say in my.
So suppose if we have a sentence, so how does it like basically? Is it some kind of?
It takes each byte at a time. These are byte streams. They take each byte at a time.
Okay, what is it represented as, like the zeros and ones?
No, it's a character. Each byte, right? Each character, like it's treated as a byte. So let's say I have this, right? And I have a line. Let's say I'm learning Java IO at H2K Infosys, right? It reads and let's say let me clear off this and save it, right? When you execute this program, it writes, it copies 1 byte at a time and writes to the output stream, which is nothing but the file out.txt. So it reads from the file input and it writes to the file output.
Okay. But I still don't get, where does -1 end? After H2K Infosys?
We don't see it, but the end of the file character is -1.
Okay, that is by default for any sentence or anything, whatever. Like
the end of the file, not for a sentence, the end of the file.
Okay, end of the file, okay.
In between, like we have spaces, right? Like
even that is considered as a byte. If you have a space, even that gets copied if you observe it here, right? I have a space, even that's taken care, right?
Okay. I mean, I'm just trying to understand how it recognizes the end of file versus this space.
When there's
because at the end, after Infosys also everything is space, right?
But after the space, it sees some character after the space, right? Or it sees something after the space, right? And here, see, okay, let me tell you this. If you use this arrow, it doesn't move here, right? If you use a right arrow, it doesn't move. But if I use some spaces, right?
Yeah.
If I have some spaces, it moves. You understand, right? The difference between the end and a space. I have given spaces, so it moved till here. When I try to do from here, you can try it in your own machine. It doesn't move, right?
Yes, I am. And file input, like, can you just go back to the program, Neha?
Yes.
So here in the input stream, we have given in the double quote H2K file in .text. Where do we have to store this? We have to give the entire path.
See, if you don't give anything, it tries to find in line with the project.
So in
right?
the library, we should be able to create, or we have to import it?
No, but you don't need to import it. You can just directly put a file directly in the project here. I can say on the project, directly create a new TXT file. I can do that. If you want to give a specific path, a complete path, also you can do it.
If I, for example, I have on my desktop.
You can give the complete path. Wherever you have, you can give the entire path like this and it works.
Okay. So if I double click on my source, I should be able to create a text there also, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes. When you're reading it, there should be a file that is already present. If not, it throws you file not found exception. So instead of doing this I can do this. I can give the complete path wherever it is in your desktop, C drive, I can execute it.
Neha, is it mandatory that the output file should be present, or will it create output file with this code?
It creates the output file. Let me take it off.
Okay.
I just need to refresh it. If there's no file that's already present, it creates one.
Okay. If the input file was in another project, we should give the path, right? Explicitly.
Yeah, but if you are referencing it, if it's not part of the project directly, we have to specify the complete path, otherwise it doesn't know, right?
Okay. So the output file will be created in the same location as the input file, if we just specify the name only for the output file.
No, it gets in the current directory. Okay, let's say, this one is this file. You see this? When I'm saying convert.io, it is this file. The path which you see here, it's not directly. It is in the source conv.io, this specific input file, not this, right? So it creates in the project no matter where the file is. We don't exactly specify the path.
Neha, reading empty file is exception, or?
It doesn't throw any exception. The file is empty.
Yes.
It doesn't throw any exception.
Okay, so when you are trying to copy, will it?
Right? It's just empty. When you copy an empty thing, there is nothing, right?
Okay.
See, in a scenario, if you want to copy the file, it doesn't really matter for you, or you don't want to bother if it's empty or not. You just want to copy it.
Okay. So if at all I want to check if the file is not empty, then only I should proceed.
See, you can do this, right? If int.
Initial. Okay.
Exactly. There is logic that you can write, right? I mean, in say number of bytes, you can check it, right? And you can see when you are able to read something, you just increment it. If one after the loop, if it is 0, the file is empty, right?
So is this finally block also having some exceptions? Because I saw something.
Yes. If we, when you're trying to close an input stream, it throws an exception. It might throw a checked exception. Oh, I should take off the throws declaration. Probably then you will see. The exception, yes. When you're trying to close an input stream or output stream, they throw an unhandled exception. They throw an checked exception, IO exception.
So Neha, you cannot read it as a character. Declare it like you're saying int.
Yeah, but even character, we put it as an integer. To deal with the characters, we have different kind of classes, which we are going to discuss next. The next is that. calling each character.
Here we are considering like what is the value of C will be in the first iteration of while loop. You said in.read.
The exact, the exact value when you convert it to decimal.
Can you give a print statement there just to see assess out?
Oh, it's an empty file, I'm sorry. So what is the 65?
Is that the ASCII or Unicode or, the conversion of the character?
Yes.
65 for A, I think.
Yes. It's the ASCII code.
Yeah, if you want to, here, like in this case, both the files are already created. In case if I want to create output file and write.
That's what we just did a while ago. I have deleted this output file. When you don't have an output stream, it creates a file, which we just did 2 minutes back.
Special operation. If you do output, right?
But input file, you have to have it. You want to read a file, that file should be present. The output, it's not necessarily. So just understanding, I'm deleting the output file. Okay? And I'm running this piece of code. It just creates one. I'm just refreshing. You see it here?
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
No worries.
And if we want to use the for loop, how do we know the size of the file, like the number of bytes or something?
We cannot do that.
So
I mean, we can use the for loop, but the initialization and the increment or decrement portion is going to be blank. Because in a file, we cannot say how many times it's going to iterate, right? You can still use a, for loop putting like this, but it doesn't make sense. In these kind of scenarios, why do you want to use a for loop and keep the portions as empty? Instead, we use a while loop.
Okay.
For loop is like preferable, or we generally use it. It doesn't give you any compilation error, and the functionality also works fine. But in real, it makes more sense like to use for loop when we exactly know how many times it's going to get executed. The loop you want to, iterate
that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, is there any way to know the number of records or how?
We don't, read the number of things. No, we try to iterate through the end of the file. In this scenario, it makes more appropriate to use while than a for loop.
Okay. So most common thing is while loop.
Yes, if you use a while or for loop, the functionality-wise, it doesn't make any difference.
Okay. Can you explain a little bit about that? If n not equal to null in the close, like
what happens is it reads and it puts in C, and C is compared against -1.
Okay.
Excuse me. So, folks, you understand this? If you understand this, if you understood this, the next ones are like, you understand easily.
They have a small question. So, file input stream and file output stream, does it work with int? Like, basically, if I'm using the input string and output stream, like file input and file output, do I have to put that into an int? Or, is there, or is there any other way? Like, we have used int, right?
If you see the read method, right, it returns an integer, right? It returns an int. That's the reason we put it in an int. The read method, it returns an int.
Okay. Can we use a byte, because it's like a byte, right? That we are reading and writing.
You're saying, could we use the data type byte?
Yeah. I mean,
No, because we cannot put an into a byte, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Okay. Okay.
Neha, is this really a good practice in real time? Instead of directly accessing characters as
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website h2kinfosys.com. On our website h2kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.